Well, we got some
Don't mind
crew
the mess.
people. Should be talking to them. Let's talk to Ellie.
Watch your step on Monarch. It's not just the monsters and sulfur pits you gotta look out for. I admire your grit, but some wounds don't heal. And I say that as someone who's plugged a few severed aortas.
All right, what are you talking about?
Ginger Chops and the pencil pusher. By all accounts, Sanjar and Graham have been at each other's throats for years. Digging into their personal history isn't gonna change anything.
And what would you have me do?
Honestly, stay out of it. We've got our own problems to deal with.
Perception? There's a reason you're bringing this up?
I try to save my captain a headache when I can. Usually ends up saving me one too.
And we don't have enough perception for the second one, so if you say so.
Anything else?
We're going to be traveling together. I'd like to know more about you.
I'm a surgeon by training and a pirate by inclination. Not much else to know, Captain. I like long walks on the promenade and the smell of Spacer's Corona. I make a mean zero-G cocktail and I've got a meaner right hook.
What's a zero-G cocktail?
It's a mix of whatever you've got on hand. Usually zero-G brew with some Spectrum vodka if you're lucky, purple berry shake if you're not.
That sounds disgusting. So you never know what you're getting?
Exactly. That's what makes them fun.
It's inventive. I like it.
I'll make you one sometime. If you don't enjoy it, I'll make a few more until you do.
Sounds good. Do you have much experience contracting out with other captains?
Sure do. Some of it was even legal.
What's that supposed to mean?
There's a lot of business that goes through the Groundbreaker. Some of it's board-authorized freight hauling, and some of it's not. I've done all types of work with all kinds of crews. If there's one thing you ought to know about me, it's that I won't tell you your business. Your ship, your way.
Didn't you just start this off by telling me that you didn't want me to help people? Well, that sounds reasonable.
Glad to hear it. It's worked for me this long.
I was hoping to know something more personal about you.
Well, my blood type is AB positive. I'm a Leo, and I despise Space Hospital. Never mind what anyone else tries to tell you. That about covers it.
The fuck is Space Hospital? Where are you from? How'd you get in this line of work?
Aw, come on. That stuff's boring.
You're deflecting.
Look, the thing I've learned about living in close quarters is that you've got to give people room to breathe. I'm all for making a few bits together and having fun doing it, but let's keep a little professional distance.
All right, back to business.
No complaints here.
We'll find out more about Ellie later. All right, let's get your thoughts on some of these things. What do you think about Zora and Sanjar coming to terms?
Things on Monarch have really cooled off. I didn't think MSI and the Iconoclast would ever talk. Outside of shouting four-letter words, I mean.
Just goes to show you, there's always a peaceful option.
Sure, and fish sticks are really made from Saltuna. Look, I won't knock the work you did. I'm sure they'll have a good cry, look through old photographs, share a pint of premium double chocolate cacao gelato. But sooner or later, things will go back to the way they were. People don't change. Not really.
That's a very specific image.
Well, who hasn't been there? Anyway, I'd hate to see you get broken up if this thing between them doesn't last.
It's nice to know you care.
Hey, let's not make this out to be more than it is. Anything else?
I take it you've got something to say about Harlow that we didn't dive into earlier?
What did I tell you? His down with the man shtick was just an act. No one who yammers that much means half of it.
I mean, even before I played this, I knew he was a POS, but... Alright. Don't sound too excited. That was Felix's friend.
Obviously not. And better for Felix to know that now rather than become the next Trask.
Just because Harlow turned out to be crooked, doesn't mean everyone's like that.
Don't get all mushy on me now. Come on, what did we just learn? People look out for their own interests. It's a fundamental law of nature, same as gravity and conservation of motion.
Except we've created artificial gravity.
This is why I hate metaphors. Look, I see a lot of people, inside and out. When you get down to it, we're all made of the same stuff. Once you accept that, nothing much surprises you.
Did you ever consider that looking out for others can be in your best interest?
I'm warning you, that reverse psychology stuff doesn't work on me.
Even you never really go it alone. You've always thrown yourself in with a crew.
Sure do. And unlike you, Captain, the rest of us don't get a big fancy room with wall-to-wall windows. But let's forget about that, please. Anyway, you really want to tell me you're helping the scientist because you think he'll save the colony?
Yes.
And here I thought I'd seen it all. This galaxy must be bigger than I'd thought. Enough about Harlow, though. Anything else?
Yeah, what are your thoughts about us getting this chemical?
I sure hope you negotiated for a raise with this Phineas guy.
Has he paid? He has paid me. Okay. Why do you say that?
Ever notice how this job gets bigger and more dangerous every time he calls in? He's asking a lot, Captain. Makes me wonder what your angle is.
I mean, Phineas is trying to do good for the colony, and I want to help.
I knew a doctor like him once. He had a patient complaining of ankle pain, so he amputated the man's foot. Wasn't even the right one. Point is, good intentions don't count for shit. And nothing's more dangerous than a crusader with a cause. Besides, none of this is your mess, so why go dirtying your hands with it?
Maybe because I do live here, and I don't want to live in a shithole. I just woke up from 70 years of sleep, and you guys destroyed the fucking world. Faustine goes down, we all do.
Guess I hadn't looked at it that way. Still, Phineas isn't your only option. The board's put a bounty on his head, and they've got more than enough bits to pay it. I've got no love for the corporations, but they know how to take care of their people. The ones at the top, anyway.
And this makes no sense because she was all against Harlow for being a board spy and stabbing people in the back, and now she's like, you could do that. You can be a board spy and stab people in the back. Ellie's character just feels like they tried to do something with it, but they didn't want to make you hate any of your companions. So they couldn't really make her evil. None of your companions are evil. Might as well aim high.
Exactly. You seem to have a good head on your shoulders, so I probably don't need to tell you this, but look out for yourself. No one else out here will.
Aw, Ellie, I didn't know you cared.
Hey, don't get any ideas. I'm just making sure you last long enough to pay me at the end of this. Anything else?
I don't pay you. Nope. So now we have Ellie's companion quest, the Low Crusade. Ellie wants to take her to visit her parents in Byzantium. When you're in the area, visit Ellie's parents in Byzantium. Ellie hasn't spoken to her parents in a long time, and she thinks it's high time she's checked on them. With you in tow, of course. Okay, well, who's the best one to bring? Felix would trash the place. Nyoka might trash the place. We bring. I brought Ellie on Felix's quest. I'll bring Felix on Ellie's quest. I don't know who has conversations for this, but again, Felix is the one I brought with me the least, so. I should have a save file. So I don't have to re-go through all this again. Yeah, I was always like Parvati and Sam, because I like those two. But then I'd also bring Nyoka, and I think these two were my least used. And then Vicar. Oh, did your guys' hair just swap? So when Parvati, Sam, Nyoka, either Ellie or the Vicar, swap them, and Felix was the least.
Why can't something exciting?
Don't really know why. It's just.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Want to be famous?
According to local legend, if you walk around the orrery 3 times, your corporate rival will die of a paper cut.
Just imagine busting up all these windows, looting all these stores.
That's it. Made the right choice, bringing Felix.
Spacers to
I'm afraid I can't come down anymore, my good man. I'd have to request a counter waiver, and you know
All
Right, how does this sound?
Citizens, today marks a monumentous occasion in the course of Halcyon history. After a deep and thorough examination of
Sure, they look fancy, but inside, they're just marble and existential emptiness.
success report. Profits are soaring.
There's my parents' place. Smell that? Industrial grade cleaning solvant and desperation.
Ah, so it's not me this time. Whew.
Byzantium will be sure
You don't clean yourself, Felix.
diligent labor.
Now I kind of want to know what Sam would have said to the cleaning smell.
Share what's in store.
It's the hope. Or is it groundbreaker? I don't know. I just don't know, man. Okay. Theodora and Lionel. Wait, what?
Marilyn, is that you?
Laws, we certainly didn't expect to see you like this.
And I didn't expect you to renew your marriage contract. But we're all full of surprises today, aren't we? Speaking of surprises, you should meet my new friend. We've been running around the system for a while now, stirring up all sorts of trouble.
Okay, so she wants me to be an asshole. So I'm gonna be an asshole. I'm gonna spit on the floor. Fancy place. I'll probably be taking a few things with me.
There you go again, Captain. Always menacing polite society. Anyway, you're probably wondering where I've been all this time.
Not exactly.
The last few years have been a bloody haze. You wouldn't believe the messes we've gotten ourselves into. Right?
Your parents don't seem to acknowledge your existence, Ellie. Theft, vandalism, profanity, you name it. We've done it at least twice.
Yep, we're a pair of disgraceful lowlifes.
Marilyn, this really isn't the best time. Perhaps you should go.
It's getting awkward. I can listen quietly, or say don't treat her like that. We're gonna listen quietly.
We'll stay as long as we like. And while we're at it, we'll drink your expensive hooch, wear our outside shoes all over your nice floors.
I don't have perception. Let's not get carried away. All she said was drink their hooch and wear our outside shoes. I'm already wearing my outside shoes. If you do say this, Ellie notices that yes, they just replaced the floors. Keep going, Ellie. I like where this list is headed.
Just a second. You had the floors redone with real Terran marble? Since when can you afford that?
That's what we've been trying to tell you, dear, but you must understand, we hadn't heard from you in ages.
We thought you were dead.
I guess they say that regardless. Let's keep listening.
I'm not dead. I just never wanted to talk to you again.
I'm afraid the distinction was lost on us, darling.
I can also use a perception here. Why do I have the feeling you people are about to apologize for something?
We only did what any grieving parents in our position would do. We collected on your life insurance policy.
And the payouts have been rather, substantial.
You what?
Well, we can go back to... Talk about making lemon slap out of lemon. We can go back to listening quietly.
Well, now that I'm here, I guess you'll just have to report back that I'm very much alive and kicking.
It's not that simple. For one thing, we'd have to cut back on so many necessities. The neighbors would be sure to notice.
Listen quietly.
Why did you do that?
We had to explain your disappearance somehow.
We couldn't very well tell people you'd run off to become a miscreant, could we?
I'll have you know, Ellie's a professional miscreant.
Shh! Someone could hear you.
We concocted a story about Celeste Jollycurl designing a pair of 12-inch heels for you.
One of a kind, naturally.
That led to your tragic death when you tripped and broke your neck.
It was quite the story. People were talking about it for weeks.
So Ellie died because she had heels that were too high and she tripped and fell and broke her neck.
Couldn't you have at least made up a better story? Something with pirates or raptidons? And what are you gonna do now that we're here?
Yes, about that. We were just about to ask you to, leave.
Quietly, if you don't mind. I'm afraid it would cause quite a stir if the neighbors saw you two stomping about.
That's it? You just want us to disappear now?
Marilyn, please.
Don't cause a scene.
All right, Ellie, you deserve better than this. Let's go.
Damn right, Captain. Fine. I'm gone. Forever this time.
Let's just put this unpleasantness behind us.
Oh, could you please leave quietly now?
What do you think you're doing?
That is not your voice. Whatever I want. I can doing? Sit down. Do you not see what I'm holding? Shut the fuck up. Why is this not stealing?
Yeah, boss?
Let's talk outside.
Felix had nothing to say during that awkwardness.
Can we talk? Can you believe those two? We'd hardly been there a minute and they turned us out like yesterday's garbage.
How did you think that would go?
I thought they'd be scandalized. They'd both be sitting there watching one of their vapid aetherwave dramas, and then we'd walk in. Mother would drop her mock apple cider, and the glass would shatter all over their overpriced marble. Father would tear off his glasses and blink open-mouthed.
And then what?
I'd have a great one-liner in the tube. I was thinking either, the leather's fake but the scars are real, or, oops, did I just track awesome onto your rug?
You can listen quietly and let her rant. Why would I intimidate? This should just... it's fine. How about it's payback time and I'm collecting with interest?
Yeah, I'm gonna use that one day. Now, getting back to my story. Father would throw his hands up because this would be just like me to come back and make a big scene. Then Mother would do the old, "You had us worried sick." Her eyes would be red and she'd have her fist in front of her mouth to stifle a sob.
You're really hurt, aren't you? I mean, she looks it.
I'm not hurt. I'm outraged. Affronted, even. I just didn't want to get booted out of the house I grew up in like that. It's embarrassing, you know? And I've got a reputation to maintain.
Trust me, this was for the best.
I'd love to know how you describe getting kneecapped.
They were pieces of shit. This episode reflects on them, not you.
But I want to talk about me now.
We are. What do you mean? You just gotta surround yourself with people who really look out for you.
Unless you mean the kind who'll look out for you to blink so they could swipe your bits. The galaxy's not exactly crawling with those. Anyway, I don't want to sift through this lousy experience for meaningful life lessons. I'm mad, and I want to do something about it. Something like... Wait a second. What if I could get that money?
It's your money. Keep talking.
I could open a new account, designate that account holder as a sole beneficiary. All the payouts would go to me. I'll make money without doing a thing, and I'll get to cut them off.
How do we do this?
My policy is with the Greater Halcyon Insurance Group. They have an office in Byzantium. Maybe you could use some of your people skills to help me set up a dummy beneficiary account. If that doesn't work, I'm sure we can find one of their terminals and do it ourselves.
Okay, I need to ask you some things first.
Something on your mind?
Nope, guess not. What? No one had anything to say about this? We're doing a heist, Felix. A money heist. Or money. Again, I feel like Parvati had something to say about this. It's like they just gave her more voice lines because they're like, everyone's gonna use Parvati. Well. What do you mean? Oh, I think I'm jumping ahead.
Now, hold on. What happens if we hit the wall?
Most likely, the bullet will ricochet, which could be bad. Or hilarious. There's a tiny chance of a hull puncture, which would suck us into space one chunk at a time. Bad and hilarious.
Ugh. Just imagining that makes me sick.
That's why we don't miss.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm jumping ahead of myself. Hold on. We gotta stay here on Byzantium. I'm keeping Felix in the hopes he's gonna say something. We're about to steal some money. Gig. Secure mailbox system, trademark. The sole letter in this mailbox is addressed to the Greater Halcyon Insurance Group's satellite office in Fallbrook on the planet Monarch.
I guess we're going to Fallbrook.
Yeah.
Something on your mind?
Let's go.
We're now in orbit above Fallbrook, Captain. Please avoid damaging yourself
Or the ship. Okay, so we can persuade or we can hack a terminal.
Always imagined Fallbrook would be...
This looks like the place. You ready to get my money or what?
Oh, I was gonna say it's pink-haired
Welcome
Ellie.
to the offices of the Greater Halcyon Insurance Group, Halcyon's premier provider of life and disaster-related insurance. I'm obligated to inform you that our coverage does not extend to incidents deemed to result from negligence, criminal activity, or dullness of mind.
But then I realized that you don't look the same. Dullness of mind?
Some people, but no one in this office, I assure you, might call it stupidity.
Hey, who's she calling stupid?
So, what kind of insurance package can I interest you in? We're running a special on dismemberment policies. Buy one, get one half off.
That seems distasteful. Why is your office on Monarch?
We're not on Monarch. For all practical and tax-related purposes, this office is an official enclave of Byzantium.
Why?
Legally speaking, corporations are not allowed to operate on Monarch, but financially speaking, there are certain costs to running a business from within Byzantium's walls. So while our official address is in the city, and while our office here is technically an extension of that address, we found it more expedient to conduct our key operations here. So we can... what's the phrase? Pass savings to the consumer, of course.
But aren't you still paying for the office? The building up there? So you're not saving any money. So you're dodging the authorities.
We prefer to think of it as chasing the savings. Turns out that not having to pay kickbacks, fines, and rent in the most expensive city in Halcyon improves our liquidity. Plus, Sublight keeps this place running remarkably well, and they sure drive business our direction.
Alright. What else can you tell me about your insurance policies?
Plenty. As my boss likes to say, there's a policy for every situation and an exclusion for every policy. We've insured unusually expressive eyebrows, outrageous statements, disastrous marriages.
Who gets their eyebrows insured?
Usually character actors, or corporate execs with menacing stares.
Okay. What would get an outrageous statement insured? Or who?
That policy is almost exclusively for our corporate clientele. In the unlikely event they make a claim about a product that turns out to be less than accurate, they need some kind of protection against the damage to their sales and reputation.
Sounds about right. Disastrous marriages?
Those are mostly for top-rungers in Byzantium who have a lot of social and financial capital wrapped up in their marriage contracts. There's one for your beloved eloping with your sibling, your beloved eloping with their sibling, scandalous rumors forcing you apart, the revelation of a secret love child. We try to cover every possible hazard to domestic bliss.
Sounds good.
One thing's for sure, you won't find better policy protection against sudden lunar implosions anywhere in Halcyon.
How would I claim that I'll be dead? I need to change the beneficiary of Marilyn Finial's life insurance policy?
I remember that one. That's the young socialite who broke her neck, right?
Of course, no one remembers me for the marauders I've killed or the bits I've stolen. Typical.
That claim was airtight. Our best investigators couldn't find an exclusion for that one.
Oh, what else can you tell me?
Are you serious?
Well, we interviewed the parents extensively. They had plenty of awkward childhood stories that illustrated their daughter's clumsiness and capriciousness.
Hey, those are entirely made up.
Furthermore, the claim spurred a whole line of fashion-related policies. It's become a very lucrative market.
So how would I amend that claim?
You can't, of course. Only Miss Fenhill can assign her beneficiaries. And she's dead. If we let every friend, relative, and acquaintance change a policy like that, people would do it all the time. Imagine the paperwork.
Okay, but how would I change it?
Oh, you mean hypothetically? Well, hypothetically, you'd access the terminal in the back room that contains data on all our policies. And you'd, theoretically, add the beneficiary of your choice. But you wouldn't actually do that, of course. That would be fraud.
I work for Sublight, ma'am. I know what fraud is. You'll do this or you'll file a claim on your own. Well, Marilyn Finial isn't dead.
Of course she is. The paperwork says so.
I like to think she's dead in spirit, but technically, legally, and regretfully, I'm still Marilyn Fenhill.
That's impossible. By all accounts, she was an elegant and classy woman with impossibly fine bone structure. That couldn't possibly be you.
That's gotta be the nicest thing anyone's said to me in a long while.
All right.
That's for the best. What can I do for you?
Okay. How'd you do that so fast?
All right, just gotta wait for the robot to step outside. View recent records. Ahmed Birtwhistle? Claim, loss of gentlemanly honor and good name. Quote, I entered into a gentleman's wager with several chaps at Billingsley's regarding the nature and composition of the Spacer's Choice product, tarmac and cheese. What is in tarmac and cheese? Is it tarmac? Like, or are they just airplane looking noodles? I was quite certain the product did contain actual tarmac. Okay, well, I guess my answer is here. And my companions wagered that it surely did not. Lo and behold, investigations into the matter revealed that I had been the victim of a gross misunderstanding. Yet, how was I to know that what manner of fare common factory workers eat, and how could Spacer's Choice be so irresponsible as to advertise that its product contains tarmac when it clearly does not? The damage to my reputation has been most grievous. I find myself unable to return to my previous haunts for fear of the stares and chuckles that will follow. My honor as a gentleman has been called into question, as has the nature of my relationship with livestock. Resolution denied. Improper form work. Claimant forgot to say the magic word. Please? Did he? What do you mean? Did he have to have sex with an animal? What does he mean? Its nature with livestock has changed. Fanny Cartwright. Loss of 1 finger. Quote, I've been an assistant saw operator with C&P for 5 years. Most of the blade guards broke last year and management never replaced them. I lost my left ring finger last week as a result. Resolution denied. Negligible damage. Claimant is right-handed, so the magnitude of the loss is minimal. Updated claim. Loss of 3 fingers. Quote, the saw I was working came loosed yesterday in count of C&P. I'm just reading it normal. Skipping routine maintenance checks. The accident took 2 fingers from my right hand and another from my left. Resolution denied. Self-disqualification. Claimant was missing a finger from a previous incident and should not have been operating sharp machinery. Updated claim. Loss of 4 fingers, so that's a total now of 8. The late shift left several crates incurred with thy fell to not know me of the last 4 fingers, and I don't know what you're saying. Denied. Claim unintelligible. Got it. Filed on behalf of C&P. Loss of workers 1. Quote, assistant saw operator 16J Cartwright Fanny lost several digits due to carelessness and negligence. She failed to heed prominently posted warnings about the state of our safety equipment, and her resultant injuries have decreased our factory's productivity and led to multiple stress headaches for management as we struggled to reshuffle worker schedules around 16J. Resolution approved. Policy details, Finhill, Maryland. Cause of death, JRF 23794. Cervical fracture, fashion-related incidents, staircases. Monthly payment, 25,000 bits. Beneficiaries, Theodora Finhill and Lionel Witherspoon. Change it to Ellie Finhill.
I see you're still in one piece. However, you never know when that could change. Consider our accidentally torn into tiny fragments coverage. Note that all of your fragments must be recovered and must be smaller than a standard bit cartridge for the payouts to kick in.
All right.
A word, Captain?
Yeah, we're just going to walk outside.
You really did it. Give these payouts a few years and I'll be rolling in it.
How does it feel?
I've never been prouder to stand back and watch someone else work. I'm just glad my folks aren't gonna live off that awful story they made up. Maybe now they'll have to go back to real jobs.
Real jobs?
Maybe as line holders or warm bodies?
Those are real jobs?
Oh, sure. You've got to wait in line for just about anything in Byzantium, and not everyone has the time or inclination to do it themselves. As for warm bodies, some companies like to keep extra workers on site to look more productive.
And they just do nothing?
Oh no, there's lots of paper shuffling and pen clicking that goes on. The really good ones know how to leave sticky notes in just the right places. See, this is why I had to get out of Byzantium. Not sure what comes next for me, though. I've never been much of a planner.
Being being paid to stand in line for someone else, or being paid to just sit there and pretend you're working. I mean, most people do that anyways, but it being your actual labeled job. It's better to figure things out as you go.
If only you could have been my chief surgeon back in the day. Anyway, enough of that. You did a job for me, so here's your fee.
I appreciate it, but I didn't do this for the money.
Don't make it weird. Even you've got to be in it for the money now and then. Why else would you go through all this trouble?
Because you're my friend, Ellie. This is what friends do.
You sure? Because my kind of friends will pick your pocket clean while they're getting hammered with you.
Friendship is important. What else are we fighting for if not for the people we care about?
You don't have to get all mushy about it. Still, maybe you've got a point. Maybe it's good to watch someone's back now and then so that one day they watch yours. So, you just keep the money. One of us has to look out for your interests.
All right, thanks.
Don't mention it. Really, this feels weird enough as it is.
See if we can talk about something else.
Something on your mind?
Nope.